Let's do a pledge allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Brielle.
Here.
Councilmember Carr.
Here.
Councilmember Diego.
Here.
Councilmember Wells.
Yes, here.
Mayor Noel.
Here. First item on the list, we're going to have, I believe we have a representative, Carla, from the HPP,
Yeah.
coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Police Explorer's presentation.
Thank you.
Can you use the mic too, Carl, so we can record it, please? And everybody can use the mic, please. Okay, thanks.
I'm going to ask Rafael Lee, our treasurer of the Highlands Business Partnership, to join me. The lady in charge of the money. You want me to use this or my
If you don't mind, yeah, please.
Okay. Is it on?
It's on. Hello.
Hello?
It's recording.
It's recording.
It's recording. Oh, okay. Okay, anyway, I just want to acknowledge the Police Explorer program over the past, I guess since the inception, about 10 years. The Highlands Business Partnership has been doing various fundraising initiatives for the Explorer program, and it's really a phenomenal program. All of the youth in our community should get involved. I witnessed it firsthand with my son, who wouldn't join for many years, and then he did, and it was like the best thing he ever did. Really gave him a lot of confidence. So many of us really believe in the program in the Highlands Business Partnership, and we really value the partnership we have with Detective Ruth and all of the great explorers that we have in the community and surrounding communities. So this year, we were able to secure a very generous donation with the assistance of Councilwoman Claudette D'Arigo, and who's in the travel industry, and we were able to form a partnership with the Cayman Islands Tourism, and it's going to be an ongoing partnership. They're actually interested in doing an Adopt a City program. We'll be having a meeting next month to solidify that arrangement, and we look forward to partnering with them on future endeavors. We were able to get a raffle a trip that generated a very generous amount of money, $18,720. It was our largest fundraiser. We normally do, an iPad, or many of you have probably purchased raffles over the years. But this was an overwhelming success, and we'd like to present them with the check. And of course, Ken's not here to take Oh, there it is.
The whole Ken, don't worry.
It's getting heavy.
Stand fast.
It's a lot of money. It's getting heavy.
Take the cap off.
And we're going to make them work for it, because on Sunday morning at 5:30, they'll be parking a lot of cars as they do every year. So we truly appreciate their help.
I'm kidding.
Right. Professions.
All right, thank you.
Wait.
Guys?
So we're trying to look for-
No good?
Right now we're good.
Thank you, guys.
Officer Ruth, want to say a few words, please, sir?
On behalf of the Chief of Police and the Explorers, we only have one here tonight. Unfortunately, the last meeting we had quite a few, but they all have other obligations and things that have to go on because of school. I would like to thank the Highlands Business Partnership. Without the Highlands Business Partnership, we would not be able to run the program that we run. Not only is the Business Partnership instrumental in the Explorer program, the community is on board with us. Of course, the leadership of the police department is on board with the program. The mayor and council is on board, as well as the administration. We do truly appreciate that. With that being said, I would like to present this to the Highlands Business Partnership. It says, "Thank you for your years of dedication and commitment to the youth of our community, Highlands Police Explorers." Mr. Braswell.
Thank you.
As well as the Highlands Business Partnership, I have two other people I would like to thank. Thank you very much. Two other people I would like to thank. One being Mr. William Chiazza from the Highlands Fire Department. Mr. Chiazza is not here tonight. Mr. Chiazza goes above and beyond what the average person, the average citizen does for these kids. Between the spaghetti dinners and donations he provides and just the time he puts in to the youth and to the Explorer program. I do have a presentation for him as well. I'll catch him later on. The third and last person, other than the community and the businesses and big Mr. Chiazza, is the Highlands Fire Department. Without the fire department, we would not be able to have the program that we have either. Between the meeting rooms that they provide for us, the support that they give us with food and drink, and they are absolutely, truly instrumental on keeping our program up and running and successful as it is. Thank you for your time.
And George, it goes without saying, your role in this has been very big. I know for the 10 years I've been here, this has grown to such a huge program. It's just, obviously there's nothing bad to say about it. It's a great outlet for our youngsters and everything, and you're showing them how to do things the right way, and maybe, down the road, it's life lessons, everything's great. So, hats off to you.
Thank you.
You're doing a great job.
Just as a point of interest, over the years of the program, we do have about a half a dozen of the youths that went through the program now in some sort of law, whether it's local or federal. And without the support of the Chief of Police, this is his program. This is not my program. Without his direction, we don't have a program.
And I'm sure, obviously, it wouldn't happen without Joe, but a lot of people, as you know, see George as the face of it. So great job by obviously the whole department. Thank you, guys.
I'm sure Mayor, and Claudette knows, and Becky, George puts in so much time into this that he never signs a book for it, as we say. He's like this Sunday coming up for the Fight for New York. He's already going to be there with all these stores. And we're there for time and time again. He puts in a lot of time that he doesn't get paid for, doesn't even ask, it doesn't cross his mind. And the program is really phenomenal, it really is.
Great job, like I said.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. First public portion we're going to have. Anybody have any name and address for the record, please, sir?
Andrew Stockton at 31 Grand Tour.
Oh, yes, sir.
Here tonight to let the council know that I sent you all an email earlier tonight around 5:30. I sent it out, so you might not have had a chance to get it. But on Tuesday night or Tuesday morning, the trash truck, when it came to make its route by my property, drove on my lawn again, and I'm voicing a complaint about that. It needs to stop, and there's actually damage. I took some photographs that I'll hand in. That damage needs to get fixed, and I don't know how to actually get that done. I contacted the borough administrator, who told me that I need to contact the carding company to deal with their insurance company, and I don't think that's the right thing to do. I think I'm looking for the borough to fix the damage that happened. It's the borough's trash truck as far as I'm concerned.
Who actually, was it M&S or was it a truck?
I don't know the name of the carder. If it's the borough's vendor, it's the borough's responsibility as far as I can see.
Basically, it's the person who does the residential garbage.
And I'm hoping that you can direct your borough administrator to do everything in his power to help resolve this issue, to help it stop so that they stop driving on my lawn and to fix the damage.
I'll send it around.
And actually, when you see the photographs, it's the right side of that puddle that's in the photograph is where the edge of pavement is.
I know in the past, and Brian's only been here a few months, in the past, we always took up the charge for our residents because we contracted with the trash company. So, what do you guys want to do? I would definitely have a conversation from somebody, at a capacity at the borough level with the company.
I did offer to contact the company.
Right,
But-
and Brian told me to file a police report, which I did, but the police department, when the officer came, said it's not really a criminal issue, that they have no real, report to write other than a sentence that it happened, which is exactly what I said in my email anyway.
And I understand there's many reasons to do that with
The way you're reporting it, it was a motor vehicle that did damage to your property.
It's the trash truck.
That's a motor vehicle crash.
So Joe, what do we, police report would be what?
Should be an action report, I'll check on that. Do you know what day or when you called, so I,
Oh yeah, he came this afternoon around 5 o'clock or 5:30.
oh, tonight?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll check on that, that should be.
So you in agreement with our administrator, should be an accident report?
I'll check on what you said.
Okay. Then obviously, we have that in hand.
On the document there, I did get a file number from the officer. I
Yeah.
put that in the email for the record too.
So Brian, make sure Joe gets that. The file number should track easier.
I'm just hoping it's an easy thing to get fixed. What I think needs to be done is a load or two or half a dump truck load of topsoil to fill in the divot that they made and some grass seed. And, from the way I read the email, it looks like I'm gonna have to try and attack the vendor's insurance company and, might end up in court. And I don't really want that to happen. I just want the tire to fix.
Let's see what they want to get the accident report.
So we're taking the approach that we're indemnifying.
Well, I just wanna make it clear, because it came at 5:30, so many of us
I
didn't
didn't
read
get
it
to
all.
read it.
You already had an exchange, so what's the feel? How do we,
I didn't,
we're kind of.
My thought was we're not indemnifying a contractor. Perhaps our attorney can weigh in on that, but if a private trash collector did damage, I don't understand why the borough would be paying for that.
I agree with you. I have not seen the most recent exchange of emails, obviously. That was caused by the private contractor. They're the ones who actually should be contacted.
My position is that I'm a taxpayer in town. My taxes, one of the services that's provided is trash pickup. It's the town's vendor, it's the town's responsibility.
what would we do if it was our own guys?
We're not gonna, argue about special assistance is just being brought
Right,
to
I
attention.
understand.
Doesn't mean we're not taking action.
Right, no, I think this
We're gonna
is a
communicate
conversation.
with the vendor saying you have to deal with your trucks, but you have a policy, you damage your property, that vendor has to make you whole, not
Right.
us.
And again, this isn't the first time that I've complained to the council about it. And I think it was maybe about a year ago that I made the last complaint, and nothing ever happened. since
Right, I'm
then.
not
I think-
suggesting that we should
I
do
think the
repairs.
borough engineer came up and looked and made a suggestion of what could be done, but nothing ever got done.
I'm suggesting we should take the lead with an accident report and make them fix our, yeah, I think it's 100% right. Our taxpayers, including us, are paying for all these contractors. We hired a contractor. We shouldn't just be leaving the resident to, twist in the wind in my mind.
But I'm following your direction. I will contact the the waste hauler and the insurance company to,
And I think
you
we
know,
should
let
back
them
that
know
up.
that I'm the one that was damaged by this. But I
And I think that we should.
think the town should take some
I
responsibility
don't,
and help
and
out.
I think the responsibility on our side has to be obviously what the chief says he's gonna do, and I'm sure he will, is have an accident report if it is that's, you know, you're saying, not saying it's not, but Joe has to investigate it. He's just hearing about it probably for the first time now too.
Right.
And, get that accident report and we should call him up and say they have to fix this issue.
Well, I did offer to do that
Yeah.
in an email to him.
So once you get that, Joe, you can get that action report to Brian and that's the process, but we gotta take the lead on it, it's our residents that pay this.
Right.
No problem. So-
Can I ask it, what line do we draw for indemnifying vendors?
Well,
Not indemnifying. Fired.
we're telling them they have to do this repair because they're our vendor, we're paying them and they've done damage and, you know, by these pictures to one of our residents' properties.
It would be my recommendation that you fix the damage, whatever it costs you to fix the damage, that you back charge that vendor.
And that might be something we discuss, but that's something you talked about, you know, internally.
I suggest we have a conversation with the vendor. They might just turn around and say, no problem, we'll send that.
They might just send
over.
it tomorrow, right?
We don't know the scope of it,
So let's find that out.
Let's find that out, let's not.
Of course, right.
It was their vehicle that caused the damage.
Absolutely.
The borough isn't necessarily responsible, the borough is coming to assist and trying to catch you. They're responsible. You want this back? or-
No, that's for you.
Just make sure Joe has it, so there's my case. We got the paper before you go, aren't you? Anybody else on the first part of the meeting? Seeing none, I'll close the first public portion. Consent agenda, anybody have anything on here they'd like to take off, talk about, or discuss separately? Hiring of class 2 police officer, police dispatcher. Chief, I'm sure you're on board with the hiring of the class 2 and the police officer dispatcher?
Yes, he worked for the borough already. He left to go to class 2 school for their jurisdiction. And he left in good standing, he was a dispatcher. And,
So this candidate has your blessing.
yes, sir.
Okay. Authorization of contract for Hisco, handicap parking space at Porterwich, refunding of taxes, raffle license for Henry Hudson PTO and payment of bills. Everybody good with this?
Yes.
Okay, I'll offer it.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Leon,
Yes.
Councilmember Carr,
Yes.
Councilmember Leader,
Yes,
Councilmember Wells,
Yes.
and Rowland.
Yes, please. Budget amendment 16186. Pat, you want to speak to this, sir?
I sure can. So at the last council meeting there, we had a budget amendment, which we took a vote on. Now we have to open up for a public hearing there. And then at the conclusion of that, we'll go right into the next resolution, which is adopting our municipal budget.
Okay. We'll open up 16186. Any comments on that alone for this public portion? As required by New Jersey State law. No comments, okay. Close the public portion. Can we, R 16186, I believe you have to read it for the record. This is a budget amendment. You have it back.
That's the amendment. We have to read the budget resolution itself.
But it's separate.
I know it's in here, but it's not. Just give me a second, I apologize. Here we go.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay, so we're looking at the resolution to adopt our budget. This is our 2016 municipal budget. Be it resolved by the Mayor and the Borough Council of the Borough of Highlands, County of Monmouth, that the budget herein before set forth is hereby adopted and shall constitute an appropriation for the purposes of the sums therein and forth as appropriations and authorization of the amount of $7,525,000. The print is so fine here, so I'm trying my best.
Yeah, no, I'm reading that myself.
868.51, that's the amount to be raised by taxation. As far as general revenues go, surplus anticipated is $1,500,000. Miscellaneous revenues anticipated $2,094,206.88. Thank you. Okay, that's what's there. Okay. Receipts from delinquent taxes is $650,000. I read the amount to be raised by taxation, and total revenues are $11,770,075.19. And we go on to the appropriations. Appropriations within caps are $7,075,340,000. Deferred charges and statutory expenditures are $567,291. Operations excluded from caps are $611,448.09. Capital improvements total $481,500. Municipal debt services are $924,248.42. Deferred charges here are $1,010,247.68. Reserve fund collected taxes total $1,100,000. And the total appropriations, which equal the revenues, total $11,778,075.19. So moved.
Okay, any questions, concerns, or comments from the table?
Well, for the record, Pat, you just read the budget, which was resolution 197,
Which is the next one?
which is the next one. And we were discussing 186, which was the amendment to the budget.
Right, so what happens, the amendment was voted on last meeting, and we just had the public hearing on the amendment, closed it, so this resolution is to adopt the budget.
So we're voting on 116, 186 right now, correct? Okay. Anybody like to offer that?
No, 197.
I apologize.
I will offer.
Okay, offered by Council President Brian, I'll second it. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Beyond,
Yes.
Councilmember Carr,
Yes.
Councilmember Deary,
Yes.
Councilmember Wells,
Yes.
Mayor Nolan.
Yes.
Resolution 197 has been adopted.
Okay. Cancel, so we're doing 16, 190, we're doing another public hearing? No, we're reading it, okay. R 16, 190? Yeah.
R16-186 was not, has to be tested about,
Okay. Mr. Carter offered it, I'll second it.
which is the budget amendment, which leads to 197.
Correct. Mr. Carter offered it, I second it. Roll call?
Councilmember Beyond,
Yes.
Councilmember Carr,
Yes.
Councilmember Deary,
Yes.
Councilmember Wells,
Yes.
Councilmember, Mayor Nolan.
Yes.
186 has been adopted.
Okay. Move on to 16, 190. For 84 Madison?
You want an explanation?
Yeah, the brief one's for the public, if that's okay.
Okay. Essentially what happened was, there was a housing improvement program dating back to 2000. The property owner was given a grant through that funding, and as part of the rehabilitation of the property, so long as they rectified and rehabilitated the property to the satisfaction of the borough, that mortgage that was given to them, grant amount of $8,500, would be forgiven after a 6-year period of time. This property owner received a similar type mortgage for a lesser amount of money from the State Department of Community Affairs through a similar type rehabilitation program. This is housekeeping, but at this point in time, the 6-year term expired in 2007, and the mortgage is still on the books and legitimately forgiven. So this is authorizing the filing and recording of the mortgage.
Okay, would anybody have any questions or concerns at the table? Anybody want to offer it?
I'll offer it.
Okay, I'll second it. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Beyond,
Yes.
Councilmember Carr,
Yes.
Councilmember Deary,
Yes.
Councilmember Wells,
Yes.
Mayor Nolan.
Yes.
Resolution 190 has passed.
Next one up is we have the clerk to authorize raffle permits, that's 16-20, introducing this ordinance for introduction. A brief explanation on that, Rod?
This will expedite the filing of people with raffle licenses, and essentially the governing body is authorizing the clerk now to act as the issuing authority. The borough clerk will certainly comply with the legal licensing law and raffle licensing law, making determinations whether the license should be issued, and will submit a report to the governing body so you're aware of such license issued. But this will allow the borough to act in a more expeditious manner, and the clerk to act more swiftly and quickly, so they don't have to wait for the council meetings.
So we're setting a public hearing for this?
That's for introduction today.
Okay. It's October 5th, meeting? Okay, would anybody like to offer that? Second it.
Councilmember Beyond,
Yes.
Councilmember Carr,
Yes.
Councilmember Deary,
Yes.
Councilmember Wells,
I'll set it for introduction, I just have a quick question. I know we had discussed the possibility of social affairs permit. Is that not a possibility? Moving in a different direction, it just wasn't communicated either way, so more than fine.
I think that was tied into the police department, that's why we could do something.
Okay, I didn't know.
And it also deals with the fish alcohol.
And
beverage.
yeah, that's
So
fine.
it's
I remember we were
separate-
gonna see if we
separate
could,
part.
but I didn't know if we could, so more than fine.
Makes sense.
It would have been awesome.
That's gonna be
Yeah,
18.
because it usually can.
He said the 5th. And this is for the 5th, right, sir? Okay.
And no,
Yes, please.
ordinance 16-20 has been properly introduced. We'll have a public hearing and possible adoption on October 5th.
Next one is the introduction of capital ordinance. This one, I want to talk about because we got this later in the day. And I might be wrong, but I want to, so everybody understands, because we look at this on face value. We're authorizing $400,000 for capital improvements, and it's not earmarked for specific projects, right? So my only concern is you're basically taking away the public's ability to know when they're spending a lot of money at one, each shop. So we came here tonight and want to authorize $100,000 for one thing. You know about it, we tell you what it's about, there's a series of meetings. Does it change if we authorize $400,000 into a capital improvement fund, and how does those costs get spent without the public knowing?
Sure, I think I can explain that a little bit there. See, Mayor, it seems like when we do capital projects here, a problem comes up in the town, we have to then bring a first reading of an ordinance, and then we have to adopt it, and wait 20 days to get anything done. So sometimes problems do come up.
Understood.
What would happen with this ordinance, the intent of the ordinance is that the budget raised $400,000. We're looking to set that up as an appropriation, a line item in the capital budget, so when the governing body comes across issues that we need to spend or have a problem in town that we need to fix, this ordinance would be an account that we can bring the charge against. So the answer to your question is that if there's anything that's coming up that's over $40,000 has to be publicly bid. We all know that. Anything between $6,000 and $40,000 have to get the quotes on. It still will be disclosed to the governing body like any other bill, any other project. What we're trying to do is set funding aside so when the council wants to spend monies that we have a spot that we can charge. And I think it's more efficient. It's done like that in multiple towns. We're not authorizing debt. It's our own funds. It's raised right here in the budget. And it's only for benefiting the town. I understand he has some pipes there, an issue just the other day. This is setting aside funds that would enable us to be able to charge when the need arises by the governing body.
Here's my question. So we have, how much, so somebody's doing a job for us, not T&M or anybody associated with it, just in general, a contractor. And there's an override. How does that money get approved if it's 30 grand?
If there's an override on a contract, Mr. Mayor?
Already, let's say, just say we have to spend 30,000. How does that money get, who approves that money get spent? Because by what I read here, it's the mayor, the clerk, and the CFO. I'm the mayor and I got a problem with that, to be honest with you.
Nothing would, this is just standard canned language.
I
It's
understand.
not overriding.
Not
the
making
governing
anybody
body.
wrong, I just want to make sure we understand that. We're basically putting $400,000 into a fund. And we
Yeah.
can spend it at $30,000 clips without the public knowing.
No, we'd still go through a public thing. Just have to picture this as any other ordinance that we do, and we list what the project name is, okay? This is simply saying, we don't know the project as of today, but we're setting aside the funding, which would be authorized.
Sure, no, I get the concept.
Yeah.
But are we setting ourselves up for, not that this ever happens here, but somebody knows we have $400,000 on the side and we can spend more money if the project was bid at 1.1 and now it's 1.3?
That's what we beat that by fair bidding.
I get all that, they're already into the job. You're not rebidding it over. And they already know you have the money.
Then if it's already in the job, then we come back to the governing body.
Oh, I get that, and that dollar, but by this, and again, I'm not an attorney, but by this, it looks like you have the mayor, the clerk, and the CFO that can spend X amount of dollars.
Right, so Dale just
Without
mentioned there, would have to be done by
Right,
change
no,
order,
I'm
yeah.
following you, that's why.
Anything like that would have to be done by change order, first of all. This here, Mayor, is pay as you go. When a problem comes up, instead of going out there and bonding it, you're paying for your problems as it comes through, and the budget did set aside funds for this. It's something I recommend to do,
So if it's a $30,000 expenditure, what's the process?
like any other $30,000 expenditure.
That's
Who
why I
can
said-
authorize
You
that?
need to go out to
It'd be the
bid.
same thing, because the governing body, purchase order, the whole procedure.
It reads, if you're reading this as a layperson, and again, a lot of people haven't even seen it, so they've seen it for the first time now. it looks as if 3 people can spend money without anybody else knowing.
And it also
Absolutely.
says, and any other official officer of the borough.
Right, so then it means anybody
Are each hereby authorized, meaning individual.
to do the transaction.
Right, and Mr. Mayor, if I may say, this is also just the first reading.
I get it. No, I think we should tighten that up. That's my point.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily opposed to it.
Yeah.
But when you come on, you look at it for the first time, and it says that somebody sitting in just one of these chairs, it looks like has the ability with me, you, and Brian, or the clerk, to go and spend money, and no one else at the table, in essence, has a say, that's a problem.
Okay,
We
would you
should
like me
tighten
to
that up.
reach out and fix that with the
Yeah, I
bond?
think so. I would be definitely feel better looking at it if it was that way, you know what I mean?
In essence, this is making a capital improvement
Fun,
fund.
right, pretty much.
So it's monies, these same monies would have still come out of our budget under some other line item. You're
Yeah.
just making them all come out of a capital improvement line.
Correct.
Or you would have had a bond.
And I think.
And I get the process.
And the process would be exactly the same.
Exactly. I think we
But
have to
yeah,
spell
this
it out.
language just needs to
Because
get.
when I first read this, I was like, boy, oh boy, I'm one of the people mentioned in that there. You know what I mean? Don't
And
laugh.
I
Paul.
think for me, usually when it was an ordinance, it's always specific to a
What it's
certain
for,
thing.
right.
Right.
A building, fire truck, a this, a that, or things associated with that. So this was, just seemed to me so open-ended that, okay, then if we did move forward with it, would we get a report, expenditures against ordinance 16-21? So you can know where you're at, because there are things that will be small, and maybe they come up, and maybe it's a small sewer break, and it's an emergency repair.
And it makes
And
sense,
somebody makes
obviously.
the go action. How do we track that when it's not just a specific project, it's a whole paragraph of specific things?
Oh,
It
that
would
has
be
to
in our books just like anything else would be in our books. There's always gonna be a line item and a double entry for it.
Oh, no, I'm not saying you won't see it after the fact. I think you should want to know, obviously.
And,
You don't wanna
and we
know.
would, the process is still the
Right.
same, it's just coming out of the
It's got to be
space.
spelled out in section 2, though, I think, a little bit.
As Mr. Glasgow indicated, it's still all in accordance with the local public contracts law, but we can revise it.
Yeah, and by the way, I agree with everything you're saying, I'm just saying it doesn't sit right with me. You want to do it, you can do it, I'm only one vote. I'm just saying, to me, it looks like 3 people can spend the money without anybody else knowing on certain spend.
I think with the Pat and Kim Gonzalez, our checks and balances are there. For
I agree with you, but you're right.
Yeah, I think just clarifying that.
Tighten it up.
I think the end goal is to be able to allow our PA to be aggressive in fixing a lot of our problems.
And not have a problem. I think it's a great idea in theory.
We have a sewer problem as we speak that we got problems. Negligence over the years has caught up with us, so we need to be able to spend the money because there's problems.
Now, one more thing there, in absence of, if we don't do an ordinance like this or change the language, exactly what Doug mentioned there, we'd have to declare an emergency and then go ahead and raise those
Oh, no.
funds in the following year, so we're trying to get ahead of the problem.
I don't think it's a bad idea, Pat, and you do a great job, you have all my confidence personally, but I just think we gotta tighten up that language, because I know that if I was sitting on the other side of the table and I read that, I would think someone was pulling faster. That's all I'm saying. Okay, would anybody like to offer that?
I'll offer.
Okay, we're setting this also for October 5th, right?
Correct.
Okay, I'll second it. And obviously, Pat, you're gonna send us some typed up language, I guess, and all that. Thank you.
Councilmember Brianna,
Yes.
Councilmember Carr,
Yes.
Councilmember Diorigo,
Yes.
Councilmember Wells,
I'm just gonna vote no at this point until I see revised language.
Mayor Nolan.
Yes.
Ordinance 16-21 has been properly introduced and will have a public hearing and possible adoption on October 5th.
You guys, ordinance second reading and public hearing and adoption, 1614, I'd like to offer them to carry that to November 2nd meeting, because our planning and zoning board has to weigh in on their comments,
And the environment.
and the environmental commission, and any other, obviously, any other related committees or departments. So basically, everybody in the borough's gonna weigh in on this. Let's move it to, I'd ask to move it to November 2nd. So that was offered, I believe, by Karen Leon, and second by Rick. Okay, roll call please.
Councilmember Brianna,
Yes.
Councilmember Carr,
Yes.
Councilmember Diorigo,
Yes.
Councilmember Wells,
Yes.
and Mayor Nolan.
Yes, please. 1618 is the open space committee, we're gonna open up a public hearing. Anybody have any comments, questions, or concern on ordinance 16-18? No, see none. Someone wanna read that into the record so the borough and other people know what we're talking about and voting on? 16-18 open space committee?
As set forth at the last essentially we're expanding the role of the Open Space Committee
Okay.
to correspond with the ordinance to establish the Open Space Trust Fund. Essentially, the Open Space Trust Fund allows you to utilize funds at your discretion to acquire, preserve, and improve lands for open space conservation, recreation, and parkland. The committee, however, had previously only been authorized to address acquisitions of property. However, the realities are that it's more realistic to recommend to the governing body to preserve and improve such lands. So the ordinance just basically enables the Open Space Committee to address not only acquisition of property, but make recommendations as to preservation and improvement of certain lands. It is still advisory in nature and is still subject to the discretion of the governing body whether to use those funds based on that recommendation.
Okay, anybody like to offer that?
I'll offer.
I'll second it. Second by Councilman Card, second by Councilwoman Dorigo. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Brouillon,
Yes.
Councilmember Carr,
Yes.
Councilmember Dorigo,
Yes.
Councilmember Wells,
Yes.
Mayor Nolan.
Yes, please.
Ordinance 1618 has been properly adopted.
Next up, we have adopted a direct deposit policy for employees. I think that's fantastic, that most businesses I know have that. I think it speaks to it's anything other than normal, Brad, just the normal direct deposit, okay? Anybody want to comment on 16-19? It's a direct deposit policy for our employees. I'm sure somehow, that's, I know it's going to save us money and time, payroll and everything else. Haven't done it myself.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I agree. I got 1,300 employees, and it's good that nobody's sad. No comments, okay? We'll close the public portion on that. Want to do a final reading on it? 16-19? Yeah, I'm planning not to have it. You got it?
Therefore, be ordained by the Borough of Highlands located in Monmouth County, State of New Jersey as follows. All employees and elected public officials who receive compensation of the Borough of Highlands are mandated to have direct deposit of their compensation as of November 1st, 2016, in accordance with Chapter 28 of the Law 2013 as defined under New Jersey Statutes annotated 52:14-15F, subsection B. Section 2, seasonal and temporary employees who are employed by the Borough of Highlands are exempt from the direct deposit mandate. Section 3, borough employees may request in writing an exemption from the direct deposit mandate to the Borough Administrator of the Borough of Highlands. Such request will be presented to the governing body within 30 days of the next regularly scheduled meeting of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Highlands. After the request is received by the Borough Administrator, the governing body may grant such an exemption by resolution and only for good cause. Section 4. If any section, paragraph, subdivision, clause, or provision of this ordinance shall be adjudged invalid, such adjudication shall apply only to the section, paragraph, subdivision, clause, or provision so adjudged, and the remainder of the ordinance shall be deemed valid and effective. Section 5. All ordinances or parts of ordinances inconsistent with or in conflict with the ordinance are hereby repealed to the extent of such inconsistency. Section 6. This ordinance shall take effect after final passage, adoption, and publication according to law.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think that just to highlight, there is a mechanism to get out, and it's got to be okayed by the governing body. That's a standard thing, and seasonal employees are not included. So with that, I'll offer it.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please, sir.
Councilmember Brouillon,
Yes.
Councilmember Carr,
Yes.
Councilmember Dorigo,
Yes.
Councilmember Wells,
Yes.
Mayor Nolan.
Yes.
Ordinance number 16-19 has been properly adopted.
We have other business and memorial tree planting. You want to come up and talk to that, Ms. Nolan? I have your letter here. You want me to just read it? Okay.
Yes.
So everybody got a copy of this tonight. There's a group from the 4-H as well as the Girl Scouts that, in a long story short, you probably read on the newspaper and in some forms of social media, that a girl named Maria Rose Procopio, who was a Girl Scout and was many days in this very room volunteering to be a Girl Scout, was unfortunately killed in a hit-and-run accident, and I don't want to get into all of that stuff, but that's coming to fruition too. So make a long story short, what they want to do is they want to have a memorial tree and probably a bench, right? You want to put the plaque on the bench in memory of Marissa and da-da-da-da. And, yeah, so we're going to fund the tree, have it planted, watered, and clean the grass area for the table area. We're looking to have this in place for a memorial around her birthday, which is what, November 24th? And possibly do it on the weekend of the 18th. So it's costing us nothing. And between the Girl Scouts and the 4-H, they're taking care of it. So they're looking for direction. I'm gonna let you guys talk about it. I'm personally connected. I mean, I was here many times with the Girl Scouts volunteering as a Girl Scout dad. She was a lovely young lady. I know that's cliche and everybody says that. It's a tragedy. But go ahead, guys. Have that.
I have no objection.
No objection. And this would be out front here?
Where the bike rack is?
Yes, if you look out the front door, if you look to the left, where there's a light post, there used to be a tree there. And if you feel the bike rack is there now, so it'd be like a net grass area.
And the picnic table would have, yes, the 2 little benches that are part of it?
Yes, yes. Probably would be more of like the plastic one, so if it needs to be removed or something, we'll let it.
So you mind just doing a roll call for the record?
Councilmember Leon,
Yes.
Councilmember Park,
Yes.
Councilmember Fiorito,
Yes.
Councilmember Love,
Yes.
and then
I'm gonna abstain.
Thank you.
Wanna, can somebody grab the paper? Girl Scout, volunteer. There you go.
Might go deep for the day.
Thank you. Remember, the mayor works from, the council works from sun to sun, the mayor works never stop. First up, Carol Buckle. And name and address, please, Ms. Buckle. Do you mind coming to the mic?
I do not, but I'll come anyway.
I appreciate it. You're the best. I mean that too.
Carol Bucko, 230 Shore Drive. This ordinance here,
Which one?
one that you're having a public hearing on, it says it's 1621. Could we finish the sentence at the end? It says, "The ordinance shall take effect immediately after final adoption and approval by the mayor as described by." In what? Okay?
That's why we're looking at the language.
I have to be honest with you, I was more concerned with section 2 on page 1, but I didn't go past that. I'm not gonna lie. For that, kind of scrutiny.
Yeah. And which was the one that you have postponed indefinitely? I couldn't keep up, you were going so fast.
Postponed indefinitely, 06.
The wind
It
ordinance.
was the wind ordinance. We sent it over to,
Multiple boards,
we
right?
sent it to the land use board, we sent it to the environmental commission, and we sent it to the building department, and apparently it didn't get read, so it didn't come up in their meetings, so they had no, feedback for us, so we need to get feedback from all these different departments before we move through on it, just to do our due diligence.
And I know speaking from, Doug and I are on the land use board, we're gonna talk about it in our October meeting, that's why we postponed it to the November meeting.
Okay, on the bottom of that, it says the purpose of this ordinance is to, and then it just says ordinance 1614, are they going together?
I was looking at it online, I didn't look at it on paper. Are we missing a page?
Probably,
I don't think so.
or it got transcribed.
It might be the finish of that sentence, but it's this big space between.
No, it says 2, and then 1, facilitate the permitting of small.
You might have a different copy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we don't have that copy.
Okay,
That wasn't planned, I promise you.
Yeah, the purpose of this ordinance is to.
so you don't have the remaining 4 pages?
No.
I'll give you mine.
You gotta vote
I
on
don't
it
need
first
it.
and then get the ordinance, just like a volunteer. Okay, Christian Lee,
I'll pass that.
okay, thank you. Andrew Stockton,
Just use this time to add a comment to maybe help build a little comfort level into that ordinance, O-16-21 that you talked about
Yeah.
with regard to the introduction of the capital improvements. Remind everybody on the dais there that there are provisions in the municipal land use law, and you might want to build language into this ordinance to help support that for capital improvement programs or projects where warranted need to come to the planning board for review and consideration too. So that's another level built into the process for public review and comment.
yeah, non-emergency things, I think that's a good idea. Thanks, Andrew. Rachel Stockton? You good? Rick O'Neill. Name and address, please, sir. I know.
You know what it is.
Not.
You know what it is, right?
I know what it is, I didn't have to look.
224, Group 36 Highlands. I just gotta ask Pat,
Yes, sir.
when you bond that, if you bond that $400,000,
That's it. That won't,
when it
It's
gets,
not bonded.
if it does or whatever,
Yes.
how many votes do you need to spend that money from this table?
first of all,
You need 4 to bond it,
we
correct?
won't bond
No
it,
bond,
it's
that's
fully
what I'm
funded, it's pay as you go, so the money has been set aside in the budget, and now we're setting up a line item to be able to charge, so it is not bonding money, it's our own money, so we don't have to go outside and borrow any money.
So we raise taxes for it without.
Yeah.
So it's not a bond.
It's
It's
not,
not a bond, it's
That's why I
money
asked.
that already exists
in
within
the
our
budget.
budget. It's just putting all capital improvements into one line item.
Oh, okay.
Money's already there.
yeah.
Okay, I thought it was a bond ordinance.
No
It
bond.
is not.
Okay.
That's why I asked what I asked, the mechanism of spending.
Okay.
Because I agree with you, you need 4 to bond that kind of money.
Right.
That's why I asked what I asked. Carl Sefalo, can you name and address, any comments, or please? What do
I
you got going on
signed
this
just
weekend?
in case, but, I'll pass.
What's going on this weekend in town?
We have the Twin Lights bike ride, and I thank you guys for not canceling the event.
Come on, Carla,
Alright.
don't be shy.
Name and address for Twin
Carla Sefalo, 62 Gravelly Point Road, Highlands. On behalf of the Highlands Business Partnership, we have a busy month of October. On Sunday at 7 a.m. starts the Twin Lights bike ride.
Still September for the record, okay.
As of today, we have 2,700 pre-registered cyclists. The weather looks great, so we'll probably get another 500 or 600. So there'll be lots of parking in the community, probably a lot of angry residents, but it'll be a beautiful day in the park, and festivities will take place, some of our restaurants coming out. The event goes until 5 o'clock, and thank you to the administration and the Public Works for their assistance with the event. Following Saturday, October 1st, which also looks spectacular, is the 17th annual Oktoberfest. And then we have October 15th is our zombie parade. And following the zombie parade, there'll be a pub crawl, a zombie pub crawl, and all the proceeds are going to benefit the American Cancer Society Making Strides and the Christine Meal Foundation and Little Silver for breast cancer research. So we hope everybody will come out and support the event. And on another note, I just would like to ask about, since you brought up open space, electric in Veterans Park.
I asked Dale about that today.
When, Mr.
Put him
Dale?
on the hot seat.
I got a lot of grays growing in, it's been a
You'll
few
be both.
years.
Basically still working things out with the vendor that's donating the
Okay.
supplies. As soon as we could finalize things with him, we'll be able to go out to bid with it. The project's ready to bid.
Any idea of a time frame? I appreciate that the person's,
No,
and it's a very generous gift, because I know that's a lot of money.
I don't have a time frame.
So can you go out to bid with a contingency of option A is if everything is provided, and option B,
please.
everything's, you have to supply everything.
You gotta have a dollar amount for the whole project.
Yeah, I mean, I could, if that's what council wants to do,
That's-
is do
then
that.
I think that's a great
That's already
idea,
an approved one.
considering I was told about a year ago that it was going out to bid,
Well,
so.
that's
Well, at that point it was before the
But if we do
vendor
switch
came
two
up.
options, if they come up with it, if they come up with the goods, great. If they don't, we have another way to go.
Okay.
We can't really wait much longer.
And you know
No,
what,
I
I
understand.
appreciate that
We need
it's a
lights.
really generous gift, but we gotta keep going.
We made a tremendous investment in the park. The new fences are going to be going in, although I didn't hear that. But anyway, really, it's really critical.
Oh, no doubt.
There's, absolutely no lighting and constant vandalism. Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks for all your efforts, Carlo. I'll motion to adjourn. Second by Mr. Carter. Roll call.
Councilmember Bouillon,
Yes.
Councilmember Carr, Councilmember Enrico,
Yes.
Councilmember Wall,
Yes.
and Mayor Noble.
Yes, thanks everybody for coming out.